Welcome to PWA, and welcome to the inaugural episode of Callback, a new series where we take former NXT stars that have fallen flat on the main roster, and we call them back to their call-up, and we rebook the call-up. This week we will look at the Ascension, these dudes. The face-painted Road Warrior-esque tag team were something of legends in NXT, but when called up, the act fell flat due to burial by a bunch of old tag teams and losing constantly. Reportedly, JBL was told to bury them on commentary as well. So let's call back the Ascension to their call-up and book them for success. And going back, within 2 months, the Ascension had become the joke they are today. Within 2 months. Most teams have a little more time than that before they become a joke. Unless you're Breezango. But here, the Ascension, within 2 months, are buried and become a joke. So here we go. We're going to book from December 29th, 2014, which was their debut, to WrestleMania 31. So here we go. December 29th, 2014, Monday Night Raw. The Ascension is promoted for weeks to come out on this episode of Raw. And they come out and defeat Miz and Mizdow, just like it happened in real life. And this was after Miz and Mizdow had already lost their tag team titles to the Usos in the same night. So after the match, Victor gets on the mic and cuts a promo running down not old tag teams, but the tag team division of now, saying it's time for the Ascension to make a wasteland and stand atop as not only the champions, but the rulers over the vastly inferior division. And obviously he says some more words than that, but he never mentions anything about older tag teams. Never mentions anything about the Road Warriors. Never mentions anything about Demolition. Nothing. And then he throws the mic down. They circle Miz and Mizdow, who are just now coming unstunned from their loss. And they hit double clotheslines on each man. And they go outside and get a table, bring it into the ring. They pick up Damien Mizdow and send him through the table, while Miz watches on from outside the ring because he has rolled out at this time. Then Connor and Victor slowly turn their faces toward Miz, and Miz says no, and tries to get away, but doesn't. The Ascension gets him and puts him through the announce table with a powerbomb, double powerbomb, or something of that nature. Their segment ends with the Ascension standing over the Miz at ringside. This segment begins the reign of terror of the Ascension. Now, January 5th, 2015, the first episode of Raw of 2015, the Ascension opens up the show. This is bringing importance to the tag team division. The Ascension's open, not only the Ascension, but the tag team division as well. Victor gets on the mic and says last week's win earned us a title shot. In typical heel fashion, where if you win against a contender, you are automatically a contender for the championship. And he also says that they laid waste to Miz and Mizdow, but this is just the beginning. The Usos, the tag team champions from last week, come down, and they basically say, you haven't earned a shot. But if you can beat us tonight, the champs, if you can beat us, we'll give you a shot. So it's going to be the Usos versus the Ascension to kick off Raw, like they always like to do. They always like to do a promo that sets up a match for right then. And this is a fairly back and forth match, where the Ascension are actually tested at some points, but then it starts to turn in the Ascension's favor, and they start to get the upper hand. And they start to dominate, and before you know it, they hit the fall of man out of nowhere to one of the Usos and pin him 1, 2, 3. They continue after the match just like they did last week, with bringing the Usos up to the stage this time and throwing both of them off the stage through tables, and once again they stand tall on Monday Night Raw. We skip ahead to January 12th, 2015. We're not going to do each Raw leading up to WrestleMania, just a spoiler for you, so don't get bored yet. This is just all set up. The Ascension defeat the Lucha Dragons on January 12th, 2015, and it is announced that at the Royal Rumble, on the main card, mind you, take out the Divas match and put in this tag team bout. It'll be a triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles between the Usos, Miz and Mizdow, and the Ascension. The following weeks leading up to the Royal Rumble, which is I think 2 weeks, just one episode of Raw, I'm pretty sure, the 19th. They come out and destroy a local tag team, cut another promo saying they are the best, they are the superior tag team in the division. Now we skip ahead to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. The Usos, which are the champions, versus Miz and Mizdow versus the Ascension. This is a 20-minute tag match, 15 to 20-minute tag match, where all three teams get offense in, but every time the Ascension is in, every time one of the Ascension members is in, they dominate. And nobody can get any offense on the Ascension. Towards the end, Mizdow and Jey Uso are the legal men. When things start breaking down, everybody starts fighting. Jimmy Uso, Miz, and both the Ascension members are outside of the ring and brawling when Mizdow gets knocked down and Jey Uso hits the splash. Mizdow eats a super kick. Jey Uso climbs up to the top, hits a splash, pins Mizdow 1, 2, 3. And after the match, though, the Ascension, obviously furious at this, they are awakened to the fact that Jimmy Uso just won by the bell ringing. And this infuriates them, and they destroy everyone. They take out both Usos with the fall of man, and they put Miz and Mizdow both through announce tables, yet again standing tall. This is building them up as monsters, even though they technically lost the match, but they did not get pinned. January 26, 2015, this is the Raw after the Royal Rumble. The Ascension come out in the middle of the show, visibly angry. They come out visibly angrier than their entrance already shows. Come out huffing and puffing. Victor jumps on the mic again and says they deserve the titles. They deserve another shot because there is no other tag team that can even touch them. There is no match needed. There's no match needed. Victor just says, just come out and give us the titles or else. He warns them, or else. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd come out. They are about a month in or so in their tag team creation, and they basically challenge the Ascension to a match. Victor says, we don't need to fight you. We need our titles, but to say we're itching for a fight would be an understatement. And he throws down the mic and goes to commercial break, and when we come back, the bell has rung, and it is a tag team match between Cesaro and Tyson Kidd and the Ascension. And they are given several segments, 15 or 20 minutes, to build this match, because all four of these guys can put on a great match, and they tear down the house in one of the best matches in Raw history, one of the best tag team matches in Raw history. And in the end, Connor knocks Cesaro off the apron, and Cesaro appears to twist his ankle or something, sell an ankle injury, and they hit the fall of man and pin Tyson Kidd 1, 2, 3. After the match, they try and attack them just like they did to the Usos and Miz and Mizdow the night before in Royal Rumble, but Cesaro comes through and cleans house. He uppercuts and neutralizes both. And the Ascension are being stood over this time at the end of the segment. Later that night, the rematch is set for Fastlane. It'll be Cesaro and Kidd versus the Ascension. We're going to skip all the way to Fastlane here. From the Raws leading up, both teams have miscellaneous tag team matches where they win. Both are looking super strong going into this. The Ascension are angry because their first beatdown, their first sign of weakness has come from the hands of Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. At Fastlane, another 20-minute barn burner, tag team barn burner where each Ascension member kicks out of finishers. They kick out of the neutralizer. They kick out of whatever Tyson Kidd's finisher was. I can't even remember what it was. In the end, Kidd gets knocked off the apron this time, and they hit the Fall of Man on Cesaro. They pin him. 1, 2, Cesaro kicks out, and the crowd goes nuts. Kidd kicks and forearm strikes his way through Victor. Connor tries to interfere, but eats a clothesline. Or eats a super kick, from Tyson Kidd. Victor hits a clothesline on Kidd, but Cesaro hits Victor with the neutralizer. And Kidd pins the Ascension member Victor 1, 2, 3. The Ascension eat their first loss, but in a great match against great opponents that they have already beat. Even though Cesaro ran through him at Raw, this is showing Cesaro and Kidd to be actual contenders against the Ascension. This is not making the Ascension just all what the tag team is right now, all that the tag team division is. February 23rd, 2015, the night after Fastlane, Cesaro and Kidd come out and talk about their win last night, say how great it was. And they claim that they earned a title shot, just like the Ascension had done prior, but they have more justification here. Miz and Mizdow come down and say, we still haven't settled this with the Usos. We need it. Those are our titles. My stupid stunt double got pinned last and lost, but we haven't got a fair shot yet. I need to be in the ring because I am greater than Mizdow. The Usos come out and basically say Miz and Mizdow don't deserve it, but Cesaro and Kidd might. And that prompts the Ascension to come out without mics and without shoulder pads, and through their facial expressions you can see that it's on. That they don't want to talk, they want to fight. And the Ascension hits the ring, and a 5-minute brawl from all 6 men ensues. Or all 8 men, actually, ensues. Ascension hits a Fall of Man 3 times in a row. Boom, they switch corners. Boom, they switch corners. Boom. And to everyone except for Cesaro. Cesaro's outside the ring. He slides in after this, and he sends Victor out of the ring. And Connor and Cesaro face off, and then they fight. Victor eventually gets back into the ring because it was just a knockout. It just clothesline over the top rope, and he recovers. He gets back in the ring, this time with a chair. And he hits Cesaro in the stomach with it. And he throws it down. While Cesaro is stunned, they go to the corners, and they hit the Fall of Man on the chair and stand over Cesaro while every other man is destroyed outside of the ring at the close of the segment. Later that week, it is announced that next week the Usos will defend the titles against Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, which is kind of weird because the Ascension have just laid waste, but just like at the beginning of the segment, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro have earned their shot. So February 30th, 2015 episode of Raw, it's the Usos as the champions versus the Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Great 15 to 20 minute match like all the rest of them. This is building up the tag team division to be awesome and great instead of the joke that it kind of was in late 2015. And until the New Day captured the titles. Cesaro starts uppercutting and swinging and hits the neutralizer on Jimmy Uso after the uppercut party and the swing party. He hits Jimmy Uso with the neutralizer and pins him. 1, 2, Jey Uso dives in and breaks it up. Cesaro throws Jey Uso out of the ring, but turns around into a super kick from Jey Uso. And he pins him. 1, 2, Tyson Kidd breaks it up now. And they lay there as the crowd stirs. The crowd starts stirring, this is awesome, and stuff like that. The crowd is starting to digest what's going on. And the Miz's music hits. And him and Mizdow come down to boos, immense boos. And Miz hits Jey Uso with the skull-crushing finale, ending the match in DQ. Mizdow, at the same time, is outside the ring, looking like he's not sure what to do. And Miz is starting to yell at Mizdow just continuously, why aren't you in the ring? Why aren't you in the ring? Why aren't you helping me do this? And that's when the Ascension's music does not hit, but they come from the crowd. They come from the crowd dressed in whatever they dress in without shoulder pads, and they ensue to destroy everyone except for the Usos. They destroy Miz and Mizdow and Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, and the Usos are still kind of stunned. And they stand there after the destruction, but turn around and each Uso hits a super kick, and they follow it up with the double Uso splashes, and once again the Ascension goes down. But that is because there are 4 tag teams in this. There's 3 other tag teams into this, and later, either that night or the night after, it is announced that at WrestleMania 31 there will be a fatal 4-way tag team match for the tag team championships, including the Usos as champions, Miz and Mizdow, Cesaro and Sheamus, and the Ascension. Now, there was a fatal 4-way match at WrestleMania 31 in real life, but it didn't. It included maybe 2 of these teams, 2 or 3 of these teams, I think. And I want the Ascension to replace. I guess it was the New Day. I think all 3 of these teams were in there except for the New Day was in place of the Ascension. But this time the Ascension is in place of the New Day. Raw leading up to WrestleMania, all the Raws leading up, because there's like 6 of them after this last Raw. Various tag matches, including these 4 teams. Sometimes they go against each other, and sometimes it's against other tag teams or local talent. And the Ascension go undefeated, while everyone else gets at least 1 win. Some teams, like the Usos, get 2 wins or 3 wins, but the Ascension never lose. They never lose to anyone leading up to WrestleMania. In fact, they destroy everyone. Nobody gets any offense usually except for the tag teams that are included in this match. And we skip ahead now to WrestleMania 31. And it's going to be the Usos as champions versus the Miz and Mizdow versus Cesaro and Kidd versus the Ascension. And this match will take place, and it'll take the place of the Divas match, which was AJ Lee and Paige against the Bella Twins, I believe. It'll take the place of that. I'm sorry, Divas, but you didn't have anything going on then. But the tag division is super hot right now in my booking world, and they take their spot on the main card. And this is a 20 to 25 minute match, maybe even a 30-minute match. And this is reminiscent of the Revival and DIY 1 and 2. These are great. This is a great match. This is one of the best tag team matches of all time. Rock's segment is going to have to be cut down quite a bit, which is all right because he had 45 minutes already. And 20 to 25 minute match, maybe even a 30-minute match. Usos, Cesaro, and Kidd both look very strong, while Miz and Mizdow are looking pretty weak. And there's a reason for that, because they're starting to split. The Ascension are actually having trouble getting in the ring. In the Fatal 4-Way, there's still two people in the ring. And you dare not go to one of the corners because they can tag you in, but there has to be only 2 people in at all time. And unlike a singles match, there is DQ and is count out. So in this, there is 2 men, and the Ascension are having trouble getting in, but whenever they are in the match, they dominate. They destroy people. And in the end, this is the ending sequence. This is a long sequence, but this is going to be a great sequence, and I'll do it slow and dramatic. In the end, Mizdow hits the skull-crushing finale on Cesaro. Boom. But Cesaro kicks out at 2, while the crowd cheers, goes nuts. And this is just the beginning of it. Miz gets in the ring and starts yelling at Mizdow. After 30 seconds of yelling at him, Miz slaps Mizdow. And the crowd starts to stir. They start to cheer for Mizdow to turn. And about 15-20 seconds go by. Mizdow is doing his best facial expressions, and he punches the Miz. Punches him so hard he goes to the ground, and he Irish whips him into a clothesline. And then Mizdow hits the elbow of Disdain, the Sandow move, but it is tagged in by Connor when he accidentally goes to the corner. Cesaro has tagged in Kidd by this time, and Connor Irish whips him to the Miz's corner. After a few minutes of fighting, they fight for a few minutes, and he Irish whips him to the corner. Miz tags in after he's recovered, and is destroyed by Connor, absolutely destroyed. and he hits a big move and then is pinned 1-2, and Uso breaks it up. And things start breaking down from this point. Everybody starts fighting. Connor ends up getting back in the ring, but is hit with a skull-crushing finale by Miz, and he crawls to the finish, or he crawls to the cover. 1-2, kick out. Connor kicks out clean, and Miz starts throwing a fit. He just starts throwing an absolute tantrum. At which point Connor recovers and tags in Victor. Miz realizes this once he hears the tag and starts pleading, no, no, no. Remember, everybody else is outside of the ring at this point. And Victor hits a clothesline and tags Connor back. Hits a massive clothesline and probably hits a couple of clotheslines to knock him down for good. And they hit the Fall of Man. 1, 2, 3. New champs. After 3.5 months, the Ascension are not only credible, but they are tag champs. They said what they were going to do, or they did what they said they were going to do. All their tag teams are in the wasteland. They are not only champs, but they are the rulers of the tag team division. And this is all while not making the Ascension the only thing the tag team division has going, because there's two other teams that are very strong. And Miz and Mizdow have break up at WrestleMania 31, and I think this is a better way to break them up, honestly, because nothing really came of it. And if I had to book Miz and Mizdow, I would, and it would be the next night on Raw. They would actually do something, unlike real life, and that's that. The Ascension after WrestleMania 30, they would hold on to the tag team championships till SummerSlam. So let's see. April to May, June, July, August, about 4 months, and they would beat all comers. They would beat all challengers, and they beat the New Day once before, but here at SummerSlam, the New Day would capture the titles just like they did in real life. This time for the first time, not the second time, and they would be around the tag titles for the rest of their careers. The Ascension would be irrelevant for the rest of their careers, and except for now, when they're a joke. The Ascension is just a joke right now, and it's a pity, it's a shame, because you see from this booking how they could have been, and they still can be. I still believe that the Ascension could come back from this if they just start booking them strong. They start booking them to win. They start booking them as monster heels. They start booking them the way that they're supposed to be booked. And I want to close this up now. This is an inaugural episode of Callback. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it because I have a lot of favorite teams and singles competitors that I love and I would love to see get over. And this is one of those teams that I've always loved because of their look and their ability. So until next time, until episode 2, which should be Apollo Crews, just as a spoiler alert, I'm going to sign off and say see you guys later.